Guys, we're exactly 1 week away until Batman v Superman. How crazy is that?
Wait, what movie?
Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
Oh, that movie.
What's that?
What? Okay.
I'm super excited for it. I'm losing my mind every second of the day from now until then. So.
Yeah. This podcast goes up the Tuesday after it releases, which means our listeners will have seen the movie by the time they're listening to this. So I'm just going to say it right now on record. Batman v Superman will have a 200 plus million opening weekend. And if I'm wrong, just scroll down to the comments to see me eat my words. I will have a comment up. What do you guys think? 200 plus million?
No, sorry.
Well,
I'm thinking like 160, 170.
which is not a failure.
No, God, no.
I am not doubting any type of huge box office numbers for opening weekends anymore. Last year and this year have showed us that the tracking, there's no way to track these anymore. You have to estimate higher now. Deadpool freaking made almost 3 times what it was expected to make. Name it, Star Wars, Jurassic World, Fast 7. All these movies are freaking blowing all of these, estimations out of the water. So I would not be surprised at all if it makes 200 plus million.
Yeah, this movie's going to answer so many questions, like, will Ben Affleck be great as Batman? Will Gal Gadot be great as Wonder Woman? Will the fight between Batman and Superman be satisfying? I was thinking about this last night. I asked myself, what's one thing that people aren't talking about enough regarding Batman v Superman? The answer I came up with was Lex Luthor, Jesse Eisenberg. I'm talking about a movie that focuses on a villain like Lex Luthor and seeing him change from the charismatic billionaire with hair into this madman that's bald. Right now, DC is, I think, 1 for 1 with their villains, right? We all think General Zod was a good villain.
Fantastic. One of the best comic book villains ever.
And they would be smart to develop this Lex character who will be a major part of the DCEU going forward. Do you guys have anything to add? Like
Lex Luthor?
Lex Luthor, or are they not talking? Is there something that they're not talking enough about?
Just at all?
Yeah.
Not really.
Kind of put
I
you guys
mean,
on the spot, but,
I feel like talking about Batman v Superman actually fighting, because everyone's talking about everything else, about Wonder Woman, about the Justice League cameos, about the ending, about Darkseid, about Doomsday. Everyone's talking about all that stuff.
You know why? Because that's not going to happen.
But I'm saying, and no one's talking about Batman v Superman actually fighting as much as they should. And I'll tell you one thing that people are talking about that actually is pissing me off lately is every single general movie fan I talk to has something negative to say about Ben Affleck. Every single time. Oh, how you doing, Jacob? Oh, I'm excited for Batman v Superman. That's my response to everyone lately. And they're like, yeah, me too, but I don't know about Ben Affleck as Batman. Take my word for it. Ben Affleck is going to freaking kill it as Batman. He's arguably going to be the best Batman we ever have. That's my prediction. I haven't seen the movie or anything, but this is just my prediction.
Right now.
And a lot of people want to bring in his personal life stuff that has nothing to do with who he is as a performer and all that. So you guys shouldn't associate that with him being a great Batman. That has nothing to do with it. So yeah, we should be talking more about how great Ben Affleck's going to do.
Okay,
I kind of agree with you, just because I've been on board with him from the very beginning.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to be the best Batman we've ever had. I think he's going to be the best Bruce Wayne we've ever had. And I'll put that up against anybody. But I can't really think of anything else that hasn't been talked about, because everything the last 2 or 3 weeks has been Batman v Superman. Everything. They're releasing, clips and TV spots and images and posters and, Schmoes Knows talking about, Collider's talking about. Like, it's just everywhere right now, which is, it's rightfully so just because the movie comes out next week. But I think the one thing that people could be talking about more is, Ben Affleck is going to kill it as Batman.
Yeah.
And it's been proved through TV spots and interviews.
Well, I think people in the movie space know that, but it's just general fans.
Yeah, and I think that, those people are going to go in hating him already, not the movie, but hating him already, and they're going to walk out kind of feeling the same just because they want to have that opinion about it.
Well, it's that mob mentality thing.
Yeah, and it's just, I wish people would have an open mind about it, because, and it's just my opinion, but he's going to kill it. Like, he will kill it. And because this is a different Batman than we've ever had before. We've never seen a Batman who's 20, 25 years into his career and is
Yeah.
retired already. So
We'll say you don't really like Man of Steel that much. You're torn on it. Like
I'll say I'm fine with it.
so, what do you think as Henry Cavill
I love
as
him as
Superman?
Superman. I think
He's
he's the
perfect.
perfect
All right.
fit.
So we don't have to worry about him as Superman.
You don't have to worry about
I don't think we have to worry about Ben Affleck as Batman.
no.
Obviously we're worried about Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I personally think she's going to kill it, but she could not. So, but I think I'm more worried about Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. Nothing to do with Jesse Eisenberg. He's a great actor.
It's a take on him.
It depends how they wrote the character.
Right.
That could make or break the movie. Lex Luthor's character could make or break this movie. It really can, because he's going to be driving a lot of moving pieces in this film. So I'm more worried about him than I am Wonder Woman. But and if he is bad, if the character is bad, I'm not going to blame Jesse Eisenberg at all. I'm going to blame Zack Snyder and the writers and everyone else. So
Well, let's hope that Jesse Eisenberg is good at it.
I hope he is. I want him more than anything in this movie to kill it.
Yeah, because I know some things. So, anyways, that was our lengthy introduction. But welcome to Rumor Central.
I think that was the longest introduction.
I'm your host, Gio Ramos. This is the podcast where we don't talk about anything official, just rumors. Except for today, we didn't have that many rumors, so I brought up one news topic. It's gonna be a fun one. But I'm here again with my Apocalypse regulars, the host of not Jedi Council, Padawan Podcast. Sorry, guys, I'm tired. Okay, Jake Berlin, how you doing, man?
I'm good, kind of coming over sickness a little bit, but I'm hanging in there.
All right, and we have our regular host with us from Apocalypse, Jacob Barley. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. It's a great time to be a movie fan right now.
Good,
And
yes.
a TV fan, too.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Daredevil, Season 2 out. Go watch it.
Watch it right now, guys. So let's get right into it. So the Russo brothers, who directed Captain America: Civil War, they've come out and said that there could be up to 3 mid or post-credit scenes during Captain America: Civil War. Is this too much? Is this too little? And if you're Marvel, how many do you show? I mean, this is the last time we're seeing a lot of these characters until Infinity War. So what do you do, guys?
3 sounds like a lot.
Who wants to take
I mean,
it?
I think what they mean is there's going to be one kind of end thing at the end of the movie. Like, the movie's going to wrap up, and it won't – they'll show, like, Captain America: Civil War, and then it'll go to another scene, which is not necessarily after credit scene, but it'll be considered the first one. Mm-hmm. And then maybe there's a mid one that's, like, comedic or something, or vice versa. Maybe a very serious one that leads to Infinity Wars. Mm-hmm. And then a comedic one at the end, like they usually do in these movies. So, which I'm not a fan of the comedic ones that they've put out in the past, like the Howard the Duck one or the Thor: The Dark World one. A lot of those ones were just throwaway.
Right.
But I think there'll at least be 2.
Which movies?
I think Infinity Wars. Like, I know you have Doctor Strange coming this year, and I know you have Spider-Man, Thor: Ragnarok, Guardians 2 coming next year, but this is the last time we're going to see most of these characters until Infinity War. So I think for sure we're going to get Infinity War, and then maybe a Doctor Strange. Infinity War, Doctor Strange, I'm going to go.
Jake?
3 does sound like a little too much. I think they should stick with the plan with 2 because I think it's worked out well. The evidence of that is Ant-Man. Those 2 scenes were unbelievable.
Those might be the best 1-2 together.
And so, but, hypothetically, for the argument's sake, let's say they do 3. If there's one right after the credits roll or right before the credits roll, I think it'll be a kind of closure per se of like where a character goes. Let's just say Captain America disappears, and then I think the credit scene will be Falcon and Winter Soldier going to find him or something, or maybe putting out a map or something like that, kind of leading into something else.
Yeah.
Leading into something else. I think the next scene would be a Thanos scene for Infinity War, where he's watching them saying, "Oh, now's my time," because they just tore each other apart. The third scene would be Doctor Strange, because that's the next Marvel movie. They have to introduce him. I think it's the perfect way to do it because nobody knows who he is. It is the next Marvel movie coming, and that would only make sense. But I think that it would be something to do with Civil War, how it ended. Something to do with Infinity War. I think it would be Thanos, because Thanos isn't in Guardians 2, so we won't see him until Infinity War.
Better not be him grabbing his Infinity Gauntlet.
No, I think
I'll do it
it'd be
myself.
something quick where he's like, that he just watched them
That
tear
one was-
themselves
yeah.
apart, and he's like, oh, now's my time or something, or maybe
Maybe he's behind it. Maybe
or
my
maybe-
plan worked
no,
all
how
along.
About this? Maybe that's where Loki shows up, or Red Skull, or someone. He brings in another villain to kind of.
Oh,
be a
that
partner.
would be great because
bring
we're
in a partner.
wondering who he's going to work with. I hope Red Skull. I mean, Loki's kind of inevitable, but I mean, I know Hugo Weaving, right? Is that who
Yes.
played him?
Yes.
I know he doesn't want to come back. They had a bad relationship with Marvel, but just somebody go talk to him and get him to do it because he was freaking great as Red Skull. I think Red Skull is one of the better Marvel villains, and we've only seen him once. So that would be great if they utilized him again.
All right, well, that's great, guys. I came up with 3 separate post-credit scenes that I'm going to kind of do my best to describe you guys and not take my time doing so. So here we go. Here's my first one. All right, Rhodey isn't dead, but he's in critical condition. He's taken to the General Hospital in New York. He's lying on the table being prepped for emergency surgery. One nurse is reading off a list of injuries, broken ribs, cracked jaw, so on and so forth the patient has suffered. Another nurse turns around and goes, "Dr. Strange, we're ready for you." And the camera pans over to a very attractive-looking Benedict Cumberbatch as Stephen Strange, and then cut.
Wow.
That's Doctor Strange.
That is
That's all
very
right.
cool,
It's-
actually. I think that would be awesome.
Second one. This is for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. We see the Collector in his rebuilt collection room. He's shining what looks to be the case holding the red ether. He slowly turns around and sees Thanos wearing the Infinity Gauntlet. The Collector says, "I was just getting it clean for you, Master." Thanos grabs the Infinity Stone, puts it on his gauntlet, and then he goes, "And what of the orb?" And then Collector goes, "Star-Lord and his friends have run off with it. I would help you find it, but I'm terribly busy getting my collection back to where it was." Thanos brings up his hand with the Infinity Gauntlet, clenches his fist, and the entire collection room that the Collector just rebuilt shatters. Small explosions going off everywhere. The Collector falls, regains himself, looks at Thanos, and he goes, "As you wish, my lord." And the two go off to find the other stone.
Wow,
That was
you put a
me.
lot of time
That was
into
me.
those.
All right, and the third one. This is for Thor Ragnarok. It cuts to Asgard. Thor and Lady Sif are walking towards Heimdall as he watches over the universe. Heimdall goes, "Your comrades on Earth have been at war with each other. Perhaps you should go down there and settle things, son of Odin." To which Thor replies, "We have bigger issues. My father has been missing since before my return." Heimdall looks over Thor's shoulder and sees Loki disguised as Odin riding towards them with a squadron of soldiers. Heimdall gives Thor that look that he knows it's Loki and goes, "It can't be. Your brother died." The camera cuts back to Thor, who's pissed off as hell. Cut.
Yeah, I could totally see the Doctor Strange one and the Thor Ragnarok one. Now you got me thinking that they're gonna do a Ragnarok one. I think for sure Infinity War, and then who knows with the last one.
Yeah. So those are just my little silly pictures, guys.
I'm gonna play devil advocate real quick and say, like, I love the Doctor Strange. I think it works out because it's fluid.
Yeah.
But remember, the battle takes place in Germany. So
Maybe only one doctor can fix
Do we
Rhodey,
know
you
that
know?
for sure?
yeah, it does.
I mean,
Yeah, we do actually.
there can be multiple battles.
yeah,
Maybe
but-
someone gets
but-
injured earlier in the film, and then
But say that
shows it
because
afterwards.
we've seen from the trailer that when Tony's holding him, the fire is in the back at the airport they were fighting at. So I'm just playing devil advocate.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't
would
know.
love to-
I
'cause
mean,
it
I
would
didn't even
be-
know the fight was in Germany.
So it would take. I mean, it would fit perfectly because it would just be a quick cameo. Like, hey, there he is. You're gonna get more of him.
Well, what if Tony Stark is like, there's only one guy who can fix him and flies him straight to
maybe.
New York?
Maybe
You never know.
possible. Very possible.
So many ways it can fit this in. So let's get on to our one and only rumor for today. There's a rumor going around that Sylvester Stallone is in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and furthermore, his role has been revealed. So according to Heroic Hollywood, Sylvester Stallone will be playing one of the Ravengers in the crew. No specified character name or any type of role, but it will be one that will have multiple scenes. And so he'll be part of Yondu's crew, the one that helped Star-Lord and his friends fight
Well,
off.
they might not be helping him anymore after
Well,
the prank
yeah.
Star-Lord pulled.
But he's saying in the first movie.
In the first
yeah.
movie. So, what do you guys think? Is this a good role for Stallone as one of the Ravengers? Is this a case where maybe Marvel's not taking advantage of the Stallone hype right now because of his Oscar nomination, or is this a good enough role for him?
I think it's a perfect role because you don't need to have him with the main role or the supporting role, whatever it is. Give him something just like Michael Rooker did in the first film, which he's the leader. He's Yondu. That kind of role, because it seems like they're going to play a big part in the sequel just because of how the last one ended. We don't really know what the movie's about yet, so and it kind of fits. Like all the big roles are kind of casted already. You know, Kurt Russell seems to be playing Star-Lord's father. We have Mantis, and there's hundreds of Ravagers, and a bunch of them died in the first one. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense to bring in more. Why not bring Stallone in as some, maybe he's the leader of this part of the Ravagers or something like that. So I think it's a perfect role for him.
Yeah, if he's gonna be in the film, that's a perfect role because there's no other bigger role for him to be in. So I don't think it's Marvel not capitalizing on his success from Creed right now. It's just he wanted to be in one of these movies for fun. Probably they contacted him, asked him about it. He's like, yeah, sure, why not? I'll take however much they're gonna pay him to do it. And I think that's really cool and also a couple of weeks ago it came out that Sons of Anarchy actor Tommy Flanagan was cast as one of the Ravagers as well. And I was a huge Sons of Anarchy fan, and I actually really like that actor. He's the Irish guy, if you guys don't remember. But so if we have a crew with Michael Rooker, Tommy Flanagan, and Stallone, that's freaking awesome right there. So yeah, I would love it.
Yeah. The one thing I hope they don't do, I want to see his makeup effects like similar to Yondu, not to where he has CGI.
Yeah.
You can't see Stallone.
Who knows? Either I want him like straight human, or maybe some makeup like Yondu where you could still see his facial features and all that. Yeah.
And I mean, not a bad follow up to Creed. You got
not at all.
Appearance in a Marvel movie. Who knows what he does next?
And it's not like it's a huge role. I think this is perfect for him right now.
It could be fun.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for Rumor Central. A very short podcast, like I said earlier. Thanks so much for joining me. Jake Berlin, why don't you tell them where they can find you online, man?
Twitter, Instagram at Qui-Gon Jake, apocalypsemovies.com every day, and look out for our special comic hero talk we're about to do about Batman v Superman. We're
bringing it back, comic hero talk.
Jacob Barley, man, why don't you tell them where they can find you?
You can find me, Jacob Barley, on Twitter at JacobBarley_ on this Apocalypse Movies YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, we love it. Thank you.
All right, and I'm your host for Rumor Central, Gio Ramos. You can find me on Twitter at GioRamos24. Check out Rumor Central at apocalypsemovies.com every day, where we have all the rumors up. And Batman v Superman 200+ million opening weekend. You heard it here first. And we'll see you guys next time.